Don't look under the internet.
Okay.
Alright, so
I'm all fucking ears.
what's the difference between a dirty bus station and a lobster with implants?
You can't cook a bus station alive and hear its screams in the hot boiling pot.
You've never been to the right bus stations, but
I haven't been to New York.
I don't know. What's the difference?
One is a crusty bus station, and one
It's a
is
busty
a busty crustacean.
That's so stupid.
Welcome to Don't Look Under the Internet, everybody. Welcome to Don't Look Under the Internet, where we have jokes just like that, ready for you to subscribe and hear more of. That's Doug.
Hey,
That's is it Jason? J Ben?
You're so close.
Jordan.
Just Jonathan.
We've only known each other for like a decade now.
Jonathan?
Yep, you got it. I'm
Okay.
Jonathan, everybody. No, I'm Jason.
And I'm Clark.
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 From
Clark. Clark. It all comes back to Clark.
It's fucking Craig.
No, I'm Michael. Hello, pretty people.
Hello.
I hope you're all doing well today.
Oh wait, are you talking to me or the live
I'm
audience?
talking to the live audience that we
Okay.
have. We have to turn on the applause sign. Beep. There it is.
That makes so much more sense.
Yes. Hello,
now.
everybody. Hello. Yes.
There-
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know how to act.
Quiet
correctly.
down. Fuck.
Sorry. Sometimes the live studio audience gets a little too uppity, and I have to shut them down a little bit.
Put them in their fucking place.
Yeah.
They're actually shackled in place too.
Oh
We
yeah.
don't let them
Again,
leave.
we only have like one live studio audience, and it's the same live studio audience
Oh, well,
that has been here.
actually,
Some of them are live.
Well,
They're slowly dwindling down.
What's happening?
They're gone now.
What happened?
It looks like they like clipped through the floor.
The
or
whole
something.
audience?
Yeah, they're just gone now.
I didn't
That
know we
was
had.
weird shit.
Where the-
Who forgot to turn on clipping mode?
Where the hell do you think they
Sorry,
went?
guys, that was me. I had God mode on, and
You clipped the whole audience, or no clipped the whole audience through the floor.
Where do you think they go?
yeah, well, it was starting to smell in here, anyways.
That's fair.
Half of them were dead.
The other half were eating the other half.
And I
trying
was
to.
eating them too.
But no, like where did they go?
You think they ended up in like the back rooms?
Oh,
Bum, bum, bum.
Is that where you buy the pornos from like a Blockbuster or like a Family Video?
the places that don't exist anymore?
yes.
Oh.
Well,
That-
Family Video does, but
Or somebody is in our studio right now that has a Burger King gun and has just been translocating one by one to Burger King to enjoy nice, delicious, crispy chicken sandwiches.
And the Yumbo.
not a sponsor.
What are we talking about here today, Dumbles?
We are going to fill your dirty little minds with something called the Backrooms. This is a fun little creepypasta, I guess we can call it that.
Or
See, I
is
don't
it
know.
a
At
fun
this point-
or is it a fun little dark piece of reality that is entirely real?
Well, why don't I just fill you in on what the Backrooms are? How
Yeah,
about that?
Oh, can we? Sorry, before we start. Well, just because we did it before, can we shout out our other Patreon?
Oh shit! Yeah, we
Subscriber as
fucking
well.
yes. It's been a minute because of that marathon recording day that we did that we will not do for a while.
It was Zachary.
Yeah, Zach Platt.
Thanks, buddy.
I actually went to college with him, and you know, I saw him grow up, turn into a man, turn into a lady, and then turn back into a man.
Magic.
None of that happened, but no, yeah, he's a super cool guy. He loves what we're doing. He's super engaging with us online.
Yes,
Yep.
he's keeping track of all the times I say
Yes.
fucked.
Oh my god. We have to set a date right now. Right now.
My birthday's July 20th. I don't want to give that information out to the world.
What's your social? Oh wait, you just gave that to me.
I sure did. Fuck it. My birthday's July 20th.
No, let's set a date for that. When are you going to fulfill your promise to the people, Mike? Don't be a politician.
I will fulfill my promise when I get one other person besides Zach give me a tally sheet. If I have 2 tally sheets, that way I know.
Goalpost is moving.
No. This way I just know that Zach's not just making up numbers. If it matches, if both of them are around the same number, then I know
Maybe like a
it's accurate.
five up or down kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So as long as I got 2, so I can reference off them and I can go from there, that's all I need. So one more person, give me the tally with how many times I said and you both will be legally held responsible of my death. So
And we will film it.
and sue you.
If I
That'd be
ever
awesome. I
get
will
to take
not
a
sue you, but
No, I won't either. I just get to take a gander at Mike's cirrhotic liver.
Well, the nice thing is I have life insurance, so legally I can't die. Otherwise, I can sue
that
the
is
government.
what that means.
Yeah.
that is true.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, again, thank you very much, Zach. Him and Nicole, both
You guys
were
are
our
fucking
first 2
rock
Patreons.
stars.
If you go to our Patreon page, you can also get shouted out from us and get a sticker. I believe we have it set to what, $3?
There's $2 for just a
$2?
shout out. $5 gets you I made an executive decision and I called that logo the Computer Creep logo.
Works for me.
So you'll get the Diluti Computer Creep logo as a sticker to rep wherever you want. We have more in the works. We actually have a shirt we've been designing that I think looks super badass, but it's not ready yet.
Yeah, so go to patreon.com/DilutiPod and kind of take a gander. Throw in a couple bucks here or there if you want, and you'll hear us, just go bananas over you and love you forever.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll
We
shout
just,
you out and talk about you as much as we are talking about Nicole and Zach, because we love them.
Yeah, we just want your support, and we love you guys for listening to us, and
Zach, I
you're
also
filling our butt sacks with happiness.
our butt sack is turning into a happiness sack.
Mm-hmm.
But no, Zach, Mike will leave his fiance for you if you continue to be as engaging as you have been. So please keep it up.
Yes, we're gonna be
She's
home
gonna
wreckers
be
too. This is
she's gonna
crazy.
be very hurt about that one, but I hope she understands.
Well, maybe you guys can reconcile to where he's like the pool boy.
I don't even own a pool, but I have a pool boy.
Who needs a pool when you have a pool boy?
He cleans my tub and my sink
And your gutters.
and my gutters. Yeah.
Okay, enough with the.
Yes,
I've noticed there's a lot of sexual noises coming from mainly my throat on this podcast, so I'm gonna.
Let's get back on track to the back rooms.
Yeah. So,
Mhm.
what are the back rooms? One might ask themselves, not knowing what the back rooms is, right?
What
So,
are back rooms, me?
Yeah, what are the back rooms?
What am room back? Okay, so
Can't not.
I don't know. Sometimes I just
stupid.
word and it doesn't work. But yeah, so for those of you who don't know, the back rooms are a labyrinth of random, indeterminable rooms, halls, and nearly anything that you could imagine. The starter levels share 3 distinct characteristics: yellow lighting, fluorescent lights, yellow walls, maybe stained even, and yellow carpets with varying quality of age. So far, there are...
Sounds like the best office space I think I've ever been to.
Oh, for sure. One of the best. So far, there are approximately 3 generally recognized starter levels, excluding the negative levels. Each level has its own unique set of familiar landmarks. It's unknown why these things are located in the back rooms, but they are there nonetheless. Bar the aforementioned characteristics, each level contains a variety of different objects. Examples of these include random items ranging from furniture to broken typewriters to weapons, etc. Some of these items located within the back rooms can be very helpful, and sometimes they can be the difference between life and death. The rooms also contain various different creatures which can either attack you or not pay any attention to you. Their behavior is seemingly as random as the back rooms itself.
It's almost like these rooms are just like the physical embodiment of RNGesus.
Oh, I was gonna say like a purgatory.
Well, no, like random number generator Jesus.
It almost makes me think of like the way that like how like randomized the Minecraft servers are.
Procedurally generated, or like the Diablo loot system.
Yeah.
No Man's Sky. We can go on forever.
Oh,
Yeah.
Fuck that game. But
Seriously.
This does give me vibes of our SCP.
Yeah, so that's the first thing I fucking thought of when I
Yeah.
started reading about this.
It's
It
very
gives off
similar.
those type of vibes, which I am all about.
Hell yeah.
I actually have another link to the SCP that we did through the Backrooms, one of the entities that lives within them. But I'll get into that more later.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So the theory of monsters existing in the back room is backed up by the fact that nobody has ever made it out, at least that we know of. Unfortunately, most people who encounter these monsters only get to post the occasional eerie image or story before their accounts go dark.
Sounds about right.
If they don't get out, how do they post? Do they find just like a little hotspot in the back room and they're just like, oh, a bar? Well, I might as well upload to Facebook. I haven't been on there in a couple months.
So there are certain levels that have like access, but it's very limited, and it's hingent on the fact that you can make it to like the settlement area. But we can get into all the.
You get one phone call, so you better make it out to 1-800. Was it collect?
deludipod@gmail.com.
No, right. You get 1 bar of internet. Spend that 1 bar of internet going to going to fucking patreon.com/deludipod
and paying us $5 for a sticker. Perfect.
Hey, fuck it, you know? You're about to die, you might as well give us your money.
You won't be using it.
That's the marketing scheme we're going off of. You're gonna die, fucking give us your money.
Solid business plan. So how does one get to the back rooms?
How?
Thank you.
How?
How do you do it? Kramer!
No.
Kramer, how do you get to the back rooms?
Well, getting to the back rooms doesn't have an exact process you can follow. One moment you'll be in a familiar place, and the next thing you know, you end up bumping into a wall, but you'll pass right through it. Maybe you'll open a door that you swear was never there before, and boom, now you're in the back rooms. There's many possible ways to end up there.
No rhyme or reason, just I could be eating I was going to say a bowl of Dippin' Dots at the food court at the mall, but are Dippin' Dots even around anymore?
Oh, yeah. They're the ice cream of the future for the past 25 years.
I will say...
They'll get there eventually.
Being the Florida theme park expert that I am, all of the Dippin' Dots are gone from Universal Studios right now.
Yeah, because they're super expensive to make.
Why? They're just frozen balls of ice cream.
It's the way that they're produced. They use like a special like freezing thing where it's got to be like negative 40 degrees all the time.
It's just liquid nitrogen.
Blood diamonds?
Oh, did the price of liquid nitrogen go up?
No, it's like they use liquid nitrogen, but the freezing, the containment that they use for them, it has to be at negative 40. So they're constantly just blowing like liquid nitrogen in there, and that's not cheap. So it's just not a economic way to eat. Just fucking go buy Ben and Jerry's and call it a day. You don't need little fucking small fruity pebble looking ice cream. I don't know why I'm sounding more aggressive.
You are getting very aggressive towards
this man loves Dippin' Dots, and he's real salt, so
you don't have to fucking eat the little balls of ice cream. Just go fucking buy a tub of it, you fat asshole.
Jesus Christ, Mike. Get your shit together.
Gelato forever.
There's a lot of different possible ways to end up there. The most notable thing that we know about getting there is something that we would call no clipping, and that's kind of how you end up there. You pass through something seemingly as if it were not a part of this reality, almost like a portal to another dimension per se. Why you'd want to go there is beyond me, but there's one constant, and that you'll never see it coming.
Yeah, no clipping for those out there that don't know what it is.
The dingus crowd out there.
If you've played video games before, you know what no clipping is. But if you're not a big video game person, if you've ever seen like someone playing video games or a dumb like video online of like someone just like walking by a desk and like the character just like glitches into the desk, that's no clipping.
Yep.
A physical object is no longer physical anymore. You can walk through it.
It's most prevalent in Gary's mod, which is like the Half-Life engine.
Technically, ghosts can no clip.
It's real life no clipping.
Yeah, they just walk through wall. Ghost confirmed.
Same with slimes from D&D.
Ooh.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So do you guys want to like set the scene for what a journey into the backrooms might be?
Are we? Please don't tell me that we're about to go to the backrooms.
We're gonna take a trip to the back rooms real quick.
Don't want to do that because I had the terrifying research this time around.
Well,
All right, I'll set the
prep your anus.
I'll set the scene. Ready? Fade in. Exterior.
Let's just read a screenplay real quick.
Fade in. Exterior. Night City. Sun rising up from the dawn.
Smooth jazz plays in the background. So in all seriousness, if you ever do find yourself in the back rooms, this is possibly what you might experience. It's late September. You remember these nights. Humid, muggy, just a hint of the coming fall. Too cold for a t-shirt, but too warm for a sweater. These are the nights best spent at Cook Place Community Mall, in my modest Midwest hometown. A diamond in the rough in my eyes, this shopping center is a break from the monotony of tired hardware stores and family grocers that line Main Street. The Cook Place Mall is typically packed to capacity. But not tonight, because it was 8:15 p.m. on a Tuesday night, 45 minutes until close. Not exactly prime window shopping hours. Despite that, my three friends and I were still going strong. We were ending the night in the dusty arcade located in the basement of the shopping mall. It was down a short flight of stairs between the Dairy Queen and Sparrow in the food court. Faded and flickering carnival lights lined the dimly lit hallways and steps.
Do you have another quarter?
My youngest friend questioned as the word "game over" splattered across the screen. Philip was 12 years old and a bit underdeveloped for his age. Andrew, his older brother, my best friend, and my biology partner scowled as he rummaged through his pockets in vain.
Maybe if you were a bit better at the game, I'd have more quarters for you to play on.
It was 8:16 p.m., and it seemed our time in the arcade may be coming to a close. I had a few loose quarters left in my pocket, but that was going to stay my secret. I was hoping to spend it on a Coke tomorrow before class started. Clay, a guy Andy and I had just met in biology, had clearly been waiting for this moment.
Honestly, yeah, guys, it's getting a bit late for me. I think I'm gonna bounce. I gotta study for our exam on cellular reproduction.
The exam wasn't for a week yet, but I wasn't bothered. Clay had been acting a bit ambivalent since we got to the mall. Seemed he wasn't a huge fan of having Philip around. Cramped his style, or whatever. I didn't care. Philip was pretty much like a brother to me, so he came first. Philip, having realized there would be nary a quarter for him, gave up aimlessly pressing buttons on the greasy machine.
I have to go to the bathroom.
Didn't you just go?
Yeah, but we had a large soda.
You had a large soda, kid. By the time I got a sip, it was all backwash.
I chuckled as Andy and Philip started away from the arcade machines. Clay, while texting, followed lazily behind them. It was 8:24, and we had located a bathroom. The bathroom we were used to using in the mall was closed for renovations, so we had to find another one. An L-shaped hallway lit with yellow, humming fluorescent lights ended with a corresponding bathroom on either side of the hall, with custodial equipment blocking the women's entrance. Philip rushed into the restroom. The mall closed at 9 p.m., so we were going to need to get moving. Sure enough, as the thought crossed my mind, the ratty old mall intercom crackled to life with a
"Mall closing in 30 minutes. The mall will be closing in 30 minutes.
I checked my watch. It was 8:26 p.m. Huh. Someone's in a hurry to get out of here tonight. That's retail.
I might just get going, you guys. I live pretty close to here. I'm just gonna walk instead of the bus. Good night.
Night, Clay.
He turned his back and walked away, turning right to depart the mall. Andy and I looked at one another.
I don't know. Kind of a wet blanket. He seemed really cool when I met him.
Nah, he was okay. Maybe just a little quiet. The texting was a bit annoying, though. Our attention was drawn to the sound of a flush from the bathroom. Andy's face twisted into a mischievous grin.
Hey, we should give Philip a little fright when he comes out.
Remembering how jumpy Philip tended to be, I felt a pang of guilt. It really wasn't very nice to spook him, and we did it pretty often. Nevertheless, I stood on the other side of the door, opposite of Andy, waiting for Philip to step between us, not expecting a thing. Philip stepped out into the hallway. Focused on drying his hands on his pants, he stepped by none the wiser.
Ah!
Philip yelled as he twisted around and fell backwards. Philip fell into the wall. And then Philip fell into the wall. That was the only way I know how to describe it. One moment he had slipped off his feet and crashed into the wall. The next, everything but his legs had gone through the wall, as if there were a perfectly shaped hole in the concrete. Philip's legs spasm in the air, in the same looping, spastic pattern, but for a few seconds, and then there was nothing left but solid concrete.
What?
As he shuffled toward the wall, his face turned to fear.
I don't understand. I don't understand. Philip?
He slammed his hands into the wall once, twice, not a third time. Andy's head now protruded from the wall, facing the ceiling. His head seized from side to side as he continued to scream for his brother. God, he sounded like he was yelling through a box fan. I stepped backwards as my best friend disappeared from sight, and I was left with a scream bouncing off the hallway walls, intensifying as it mixed with the hum of fluorescence. The howl of fluorescence. My back pressed against the bathroom door and I jumped. I screamed as my world exploded with static, deafening and blinding me. The noise was unbearable, and the grain obscured everything. And all at once it stopped. I clutched my head in my hands, eyes squeezed shut. The static had dissipated but was replaced with the hum of fluorescent lights, an all too familiar yellow glow through my eyelids. But there was something new, a smell that hadn't been there before. The musty, wet smell of carpet. Carpet that should have been changed decades ago. The smell reminded me of the dilapidated bowling alley down the road from the mall. I opened my eyes. Before me was the bathroom hallway, as expected, lit by the same light as before. The bathroom doors were gone? There were no more doors. No more custodial equipment, just a smooth slab of concrete wall. I got to my feet and I looked around me cautiously. It seemed I was in the mall still, but it was quiet. It felt different. The fluorescent hum buzz was too loud. My ears itch. I walked down the hallway in the direction of the food court. As I turned the corner, I was met with not the opening to the food court as expected, but by another abrupt 90-degree corner turning to the left. I froze. The loudspeaker was engaged. The empty air of the speaker nearest me told me that, but the operator had nothing to say. After a motionless moment, which felt like hours, the microphone snapped back to the console, cutting the empty noise. Whomever had activated the speaker seemed to have hung up, confused, and growing ever more frightful of where I had found myself. I turned the corner. I was met with a large, empty room that I had never seen before. It was about the size of a classroom, with stained concrete walls. The smell of must was even stronger in here. Each wall had an identical rectangular door-shaped opening that seemed to be placed at randomly decided positionings among the wall. The popcorn ceiling, littered with the smears of dirt and greasy imprints, had long cracks spanning it. This room was clearly in need of renovation. I don't understand. I truly didn't. The featureless room served no purpose, other than a passageway to these other rooms. The lack of planning and absent attempt at caring for the room made me feel as if this place was long forgotten. Might as well try the next room, I thought to myself as I walked through the door to my left. The room I found myself in was bleak and unrecognizable as the last. From my first glance, the only difference in style was that this room was shaped as a triangle. I heard a single cry from my right. It was more of a whimper, actually. What the fuck? It was Clay's voice. It couldn't be Clay. I watched him leave the mall. I rushed through the door to find Clay laying in a fetal position in a long hallway, stretching a distance to my left and right.
Change the channel. Change the channel.
Clay?
Clay, you gotta get up.
Clay didn't respond to me. He never would. His eyes, wide and unblinking with fear, were glued to the floor. How can fluorescent lights be so damn noisy? And then I saw it. And then I felt it. It hung motionless in the air, feet lightly scraping the ground. It had dry, cracked skin that was dressed loosely with torn, rough-spun shorts. It had the torso of a man, but its torso was on the wrong way. Its frail and feeble arms outstretched to the ceiling, not quite reaching, as if an act of surrender. It had a cocked head as if confused, as it peered down the hallway at me. Dark, beady eyes stared widely at me through the holes in the bloody duct tape wrapped around its head, and then it started to float towards us. Every time I blinked, stunned in absolute terror, it was not where I expected. A few feet forward, some inches to the left, never where it should be. And yet it was getting closer, ever closer. What I saw next will follow me forever. I turned to run, breaking the stillness, and sprinted down the hallway. I don't know, I guess I just assumed Clay would follow me in the moment. I was wrong. A blood-curdling screech shook the hallway. I whipped around. It had reached Clay. He still wasn't looking, but he was certainly screaming. It extended its long, spindly arms and cradled him, like a child. But it wouldn't look away from me. No, its eyes never left mine. In one quick, jerking motion, it was holding Clay by the top of his head, palming him like a basketball. I blinked, and it had grasped Clay's arm with its free hand. With brute strength, it twisted Clay by the torso. Clay's screaming cut short with a fleshy crunch as he dropped to the floor in a twisted pile. His eyes had finally opened to look at me one last time. And then I screamed. The louder I screamed, the louder the fluorescent hum became. Which was louder, I couldn't tell. I turned and ran to the first door I saw, blindly twisting and turning through the rooms that followed. Why on earth does every room look the same? I turned a corner and ran face first into a dark mass. We both fell to the floor.
Andy? How did you get down here? Where the hell are we?
I don't know, Andy. Where's Philip? We have to get him right now and leave. We turned and rushed down a third hallway, perpendicular to the hallway Andy and I met in. We ran until we felt we could run no more, and then fell into a final doorway. We landed in a mass on the damp floor and quickly scuttled to the back wall. The hum of the lights was all we could hear, louder and louder. And then they all went out. Silence. We found ourselves in total darkness and total silence as we clutched each other. No, wait, not total silence. The sound of static, as if emitting from a television slowly coming towards us. Only when the light coming from the source of the noise started to slowly illuminate the room did I realize this room only had one door. It floated around the doorframe, toes dragging on the floor as it cast its bloody eyes upon us. Andy and I, mute with fear, stood against the wall. Andy moved himself in front of me. It floated towards us. Andy raised his arms. It reached out for us.
Leave us alone!
We all became statues. We locked eyes with it as we listened to the intercom crackle to life. Shallow, rapid breathing came through the speaker.
Andy.
It was Philip. With a guttural scream, Andy lunged towards it. I fell backwards into the wall. And I landed inside of a trash can? What? I was inside a trash can, filled with the refuse of the full day of food court disposal.
Kid, what are you doing in there?
I looked out to see a very confused elderly janitor wondering why a young man was taking a Sparrow bath after mall hours. It was 9:32 p.m. At least that's what the clock over the water fountain said. The water fountain? I'm back in the mall.
Sorry, I was just hungry.
And I ran. In the following years, I would try to make sense of what happened in the back hallway. I even went so far as returning there and trying to access that place, but to no avail. I never found a thing, but I kept trying until they demolished the mall a year later. Philip and Andy's parents weren't really present when they were around, so they didn't make much of a deal on TV when they were interviewed. Despite the media trying to fire them up, they just seemed like it was the final straw to send them to total apathy. Last I heard, Clay's parents moved out of town but were paying exorbitant PI bills to find their son. After a few years of half-assed detective work and a few rotations of milk cartons, Andy and Philip were forgotten by our sleepy little town. But sometimes, when I'm going to sleep, I remember, and I leave the TV on Channel 3. There's nothing broadcasting on that channel, but the static helps me sleep. Wow, that sure was something, guys.
It was a thing.
For $10 a month, you can be sent the audio wave file of that fucking Wilhelm scream of mine.
Which one was it? It's so good.
Yeah, it's real funny when it's not edited.
If you join our Patreon, maybe you'll get a glimpse of that.
Yeah, who knows? So that little story was I want to credit a Reddit user named YourDnDGuy. He wrote that. All the credit goes to him. I reached out personally, and he gave us the okay to do this, so we were really appreciative.
What
of
a
that.
nice person.
I love when people enjoy what we're doing enough to be like, oh my god, yeah, please take my content.
Yeah.
Take my wife.
That's the next step.
I didn't quite ask that, but no, he was really, really nice about everything. Super, super cool. So thank you for that.
Absolutely, thank you so much, Mr. D&D guy.
The nice thing is, so what you guys might have gotten from the story as well is that was only one level of the Backrooms. That was level 0, correct?
Yeah.
Awesome. There are, for the elitists out there are 3 levels to the Backrooms. For the non-purists, fucking, we actually got a glimpse of what level 0 was like in that little short story we just did.
It sounds like an apartment I used to live in.
Dingy, wet carpets, yellow wallpaper.
Magic
the
Mondays.
yellow wallpaper.
Yep.
A friend shooting off fireworks inside.
In my fucking kitchen.
All of us just meep.
Yeah.
Purple dildo.
Tinnitus galore.
But there are 3 different levels. Level 0 is one that we are kind of just introduced to. It is literally just... It kind of reminds me of like a shitty like doctor's office,
or like
you
an
know
office building that's been closed down.
Yeah, the walls are like this dingy, mustardy yellow with like some like very like boring looking design on the wallpaper.
It's all repetitious.
Yeah, and the carpets are just this gray, damp.
Have you ever played the Stanley Parable?
Yes.
It's very like it's like the Stanley Parable. That's a good.
It's very much like that.
It gives off very, very, very strong Stanley Parable vibes.
Yep. But the creepy part is every room is like the same. You exit a room, surprise, you're back in it, but you can't tell if it's the same room you're just in or just a room that looks the same. It fucks with your head.
The psychological aspect of all of this would be fucking enormous.
Yeah, and you're practically alone. Like in level 0, there are like other versions of the story where they find like colonies of people, but for the most part, you're fucking by yourself. You're just wandering aimlessly for the most part.
It seems like it's very random. So like I feel like level 0, we get this like yellow vibe, like fluorescent office building kind of thing. Like if do yourself a favor, Google image this.
I'll put it on the Instagram and everything too.
Yeah, just look up Backrooms. You'll see the image. It's plastered all over when you search Google for it.
Yeah, and you got to be careful. Because the way that you get into level 0 is just like what happened to that kid in the audio thing. It just fucking happens. You'll be walking to work one day, slip on a fucking banana peel, and instead of hitting the pavement, you just go into an office building. Yeah, it just happens.
Harry Potter wasn't real. They just...
Diagon Alley when they go through the fucking wall.
Literally when you walk through like platform 9 3/4.
That's what I was talking about.
Almost the same.
Yeah.
That's just... You're in the Backrooms.
Yeah.
They went insane. They thought they were wizards.
They've mastered it. Harry Potter mastered it.
Yeah,
they were
still
like,
there.
We can get you through this portal. Maybe some jackass fucking was like, portal's a thing, and then like, fucking, and then some wizard somewhere was like, well,
okay,
we're doing it correct on our end, but you do whatever you want, Gary the dumbass.
There are some Gary the wise wizard, Dumbledore the Great. McGonagall the wise, Gary the dumbass.
Three very
is
notable
that-
wizards.
Is he the fifth Hogwarts house? Like there's Salazar Slytherin, there's Slytherin, Hufflepuff, Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, and just dumbass.
House of
Yeah,
dumbass.
it's just like their crest is just like a turd.
No, it's Turd Ferguson from
From SNL.
yeah, from the fucking SNL Jeopardy skits.
Anal bump covers for 500, Alex.
Anal bum covers.
But yeah, that's just how you kind of access level 0, is you just accidentally fall into it, and it could be numerous different ways. Through a wall, you can get into an elevator and get off in this office, and
Oh yeah, elevators can take you there.
Mhm.
A train can take you there. Like
Yep.
it's just random.
A
And
door that shouldn't be there could take you there.
it's
Yep.
basically the universe telling you specifically that you should go fuck yourself.
yeah, pretty much.
It's like, do you want to press this big red button? Yes or no? And then you kind of have to decide.
It's always yes.
It's the meme.
It's always
There
yes.
is a level after level 0, though. Level 1. The easiest way to get into level 1 is you have to survive level 0 for 4 days. And it's a bit more complicated to survive level 0. We'll get into why in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to survive 4 days. There are other ways. Just like you can randomly get into level 0, you can just randomly stumble into level 1 without even realizing it. But after 4 days, you'll just be walking aimlessly through, and you'll just notice very subtle changes, like the walls, instead of going like from the yellow wallpaper, will slowly turn to concrete. The floor will go from carpet to like cement as well, just over a long period of time to where you barely even notice these subtle changes, and then
All of a sudden.
you're in level 1. Congratulations. Level 1 isn't necessarily any better than level 2.
Congratulations.
You're in worse hell.
It is now harder for you to escape.
This is kind of, I wonder if they got reference from like Dante's Inferno
Ooh.
from this, you know what I mean?
Ooh.
Because there are other levels to this, and there is, in theory, from the lore, a main 9 levels. Doesn't Dante go through 9 realms of hell?
Yep.
So
Yep.
I see kind of a thing there.
God, I fucking love Paradise Lost.
I know what that is too.
It's Dante's Inferno,
Oh, I've never
Paradiso, Purgatorio.
read.
It's the 3 books. It's a map
Pragnatario.
of heaven, hell, and purgatory.
Rey
Pergan-
Mysterio,
Perganonant?
Purganernadaber.
Did you ever play the game?
Yeah.
Portillo's,
It's honestly, it's a very good way to tell the story.
the
Yeah,
because it's-
Mysterio.
If you read the book, you'll be like, "Oh shit, yeah, I played this."
Yep.
It's so good.
Cheerios.
You fight a huge naked woman, and that's
You also
that's
find
pretty cool in my
you fight a
book.
dog with 4 stomachs and 9 mouths.
Yeah.
cereal.
What?
I'm just kind of going. So
Reese's Puffs on the mind.
yep, you can. Once you get into level 1, though, it is similar to how level 0 works, where it's just walking in aimless rooms. Only the fluorescent lights that are going off are on. They're not just like steady on all the time. They're flickering. Sometimes they'll flicker off for a few minutes. Sometimes it's for hours. Sometimes it's for fucking days.
That would drive me fucking bananas.
Well, sometimes they'll just turn off like for days.
nope. Nope. I don't want that.
Me neither, because who knows what's lurking in the dark.
I mean, I have a bit of an
It's
idea.
my mom.
Janine.
Janine, you're here.
Janine, you didn't hit me up. Kind of upset.
How'd you get to
She's in
level
the-
1?
Well, she's in the back rooms.
Yeah, my mother's
I
in
can't
the
really
back room.
blame her.
Oh shit. Well, get
Sorry.
out quick. Hurry, get out.
But when you get into level 1, you'll never believe how you can get into level 2. Level 2, to get to level 2, it mostly you rely solely on finding like a flight of stairs or an elevator that can take you to level 2. But there is kind of a downside to it. It's like at random. Either you'll go from level 1 to level 2 by going into these elevators or these random doors, or it might just send you right back to level 0 and just say,
I saw that.
"Fuck you, you're back, baby."
Well, I heard that level 0 also you can find an elevator that takes you either to level 1 or back out of the back rooms.
Level 0 can take you anywhere.
Yeah.
It even says like, we're not going to get into all the fucking levels because there's after a
gates
while,
are-
the lure goes into hundreds of thousands of
Yeah.
levels. But there is a way where if you like stomp on the floor enough and break through the floor, you'll just be in level 27. Like you can get from level 0 to anywhere. You just gotta stumble upon it somehow.
Kind of what I'm gathering is that if you want to go anywhere in the back rooms, just try shit. Just
Yeah.
it might work if you like, I don't know, spit in between your toes and like shuffle around the carpet 4 times in a circle and then yell mahalo.
Praise Cthulhu, praise be unto him.
Yeah, exactly. Like maybe now you're on, level 31.
Who even knows?
Who fucking cares?
Why do we even do this anymore?
It's fucking stupid.
This is the last episode.
God, fuck all this.
But
It's hot. I'm bothered. I'm fucking done.
you just to get to level 2, you just kind of end up there through like elevators or a stairway, and level 2 is just fucking worse because it's just very narrow hallways with like industrial pipes along the side, and there's no like room for movement. They're very cramped hallways, and a lot of them are just long dark hallways. So if there's something at the other end of that hallway lurking.
Have you guys ever seen the movie Grave Encounters?
Yes.
Of the fourth
I
kind?
just recently watched that actually.
I love that movie. Well,
Fully on YouTube. Watchable.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
and the
know
second
that.
one.
I watched them on, I think, Prime, but the first one, so fucking good. Second one, eh.
Yeah.
But, if anyone out there has seen Grave Encounters and you're wondering what the fuck we're talking about right now, just think that. Just not a mental hospital, just these dingy, yellow, wallpaper print, musty rooms. That's essentially what it is.
That makes sense.
Cool. I have not seen this movie.
Check
Your
it out.
homework, yeah, good. You might like it.
It's pretty fun actually. It's like found
Okay.
footage.
Yeah,
It's pretty good.
I do like me some found footage.
same.
But yeah, level 2 is just typically the worst of the 3. I would say you really don't want to go to level 2. Level 2 is kind of the best way for you to like escape and get back to normal, like your real world. But when you get to level 2, they say the odds of you escaping is just damn near impossible. Like you escaping the back rooms in general is pretty fucking non-existent.
The odds are stacked
Yeah,
against you.
but in level 2, you have the best odds, which still aren't great. Your odds went from 0.000001 to 0.000002. So it's not any better, but you might as well at this point.
Can somebody check that to see how many zeros Mike had and see if that actually went down or not?
I'm pretty sure it did, but
Hey, guess what? Escaping level 2 is damn near impossible. But it's your best chance.
yeah.
Yep.
Sadly. There are other levels that I don't know if we should say are canon or non-canon, but these 3 are like known as the pure.
Like, yeah, they're
Levels.
there's a group of people that are involved with the Backrooms.
There's a
lore.
council. They get together
The community.
They get
Yeah.
together in the local Chuck E. Cheese every Tuesday night. They discuss
How many levels
how
there
many
are.
levels there are. Typically they land on 3 because that's
I mean,
about the number of toppings they get on their Chuck E. Cheese pizza. So.
If you are a Backrooms purist and you frequent this Chuck E. Cheese, hit us up. We want some tokens and some free plays.
and I want to see Jowls the dog play
I
the
want
guitar.
you to get me inside one of those animatronics.
Did you know that for Chuck E. Cheese, DoorDash?
That's a crime.
DoorDash doesn't call Chuck E. Cheese Chuck E. Cheese. It's like Pasquale's Pizza.
What the fuck is Pasquale?
Pasquale is the chef at Chuck E. Cheese.
I just found out that I think it's IHOP or Denny's is the burger den.
There's
Their burgers are fire.
Yeah, Pizza Hut is Wing Street sometimes. You'll see him on there as Wing Street.
That I knew.
But yeah, if you see Pasquale's Pizza,
Pasquale's is just Chuck E.
congratulations.
Cheese.
You just ordered a Chuck E. Cheese pizza.
I'm gonna trick Kelly.
But like I was saying, it's not only getting lost in these back rooms that give you almost no chance of survival. There are other things that kind of prevent you from escaping or living.
Oh, are there? There are so many.
Yes,
how
that's
there
why
do
I
be.
said it, Jason.
Oh, good.
For fuck's
this
sake,
is,
man.
you're going from your topic to mine now.
I have segued every day.
But no,
That
Mike.
was my temper tantrum voice.
So Mike's very right. There are There are ways to escape. They are very, very like the chances of you actually getting out are very, very, very slim. But to make those chances even slimmer, the back rooms are filled to the brim with different entities.
Like Gargamel.
You
see Gargamel.
You see Gargamel.
Not only do we
Stop.
see him.
Stop it.
No. Let him go because we're literally creating a backroom level right now.
Yes,
Oh
it's
shit.
the Smurf level.
The Gargle level.
Yes, where you go into this level and you automatically get turned blue, and there's a giant Gargamel chasing you down, trying to kill you and turn you into his gold.
Exactly.
I feel like I've had this dream before.
And probably after listening to each
There's
individual
another
episode of
level
Delve
where
from
a
the
giant.
Internet.
There's another level where a giant tooth named Orthon the Great is hunting you down like goddamn Pac-Man, eating pellets and ghosts, and you're the ghost.
Enamel.
Gingivitis.
But no, so these backroom levels are very, very complicated. They're very, very difficult to navigate. To make it even harder, they have been filled to the brim with different entities that inhabit different levels of each floor. I'm not going to go over all of them because fuck, there are so many.
There's a lot, especially not to cut you off here, but I'm known for doing that.
But you are doing that.
I am going to do that.
Not to cut you off, but let me continue
Yes.
here.
Well, there are so many because, like we were kind of saying before, I forgot to mention it. There are more than just the 3 levels. There's the purists that say there's 3, but it goes on for thousands and thousands of levels. And throughout these levels, you get more and more of different type of beasts. But we're only focusing on those 3. I mean, for fuck's sake, there's
I'm not.
Well, I mean, for like me explaining it, I'm not gonna
yeah,
explain all these fucking levels.
Right,
but
right,
there's
right.
one where it's like I think it's like level fucking 420 or something.
Oh yeah,
And
there's
it's
that.
like there's another one where there's one just filled with like it's a birthday party with a giant cake, and it's like it's your birthday. And then you turn around, there's a bunch of murderous clowns there trying to kill you.
Which sounds like a good
Yeah.
time.
So there's a bunch of different rooms, but those 3 levels 0, 1, and 2 are the main 3.
Correct.
What do you guys think's on like level 69?
I think it's a bunch of gnomes sucking each other off.
Ooh.
It's that picture that you have on your phone
Of Scrooge McFuck. Fucking the ice climbers.
It's the wallpaper is just that, and then you come across it in real life.
Fuck, do we have to post that on social media now?
I don't think we can.
I don't know
Everyone
if
at
we
home,
can.
I'll give you the close-up of just his face.
everyone at home, just Google Scrooge McFuck.
Yes.
It's exactly
laugh.
what you think it's gonna look like.
Yeah.
Okay, it's nothing at all what you think it's gonna look like. It involves Scrooge McDuck,
A very muscular.
very buff one, face fucking the ice climbers through the back of the skull.
Just look it up. We'll let you determine what is actually happening in the picture.
It's quite arousing and erotic.
Oh yeah, I get a boner every time.
Anyway, monsters.
But speaking of boners and monsters, some of the entities in the backrooms are actually helpful. Most of them will definitely try to kill you, but there are some that are actually pretty helpful. For instance, one of the most well-known entities in the backrooms is someone called the Break Room Man. Now, he's an entity, and he's on level 4. Now, again, if you're a purist, just fucking shut this off now. Like, go listen to something else.
No. Keep listening. Just take this with a grain of salt. Don't knock viewers away, Jason.
That's fair.
You big old dingus.
That's fair.
Yeah, big old dong.
All I'm saying, though, is if you're a purist and you hear what I have to say from here on out, like, you're probably not going to agree with any of it. Keep an open mind. Let me say my part. Let's see how terrified you are of everything in this fucking labyrinthian hell. So, like I said, not everything in the backrooms is there to try to kill you, torment you, defile you, whatever terrible adjective you can think of. There are a few good ones. So, like I said, the Break Room Man on level 4. This entity is an all-white humanoid, 7 feet tall, and non-hostile. Sits in a brown chair and has an odd black outline.
Fucking Yao Ming is just chilling in the break
Yeah,
room.
absolutely. He's just there to help out. It's got these large black eyes that seem to be almost kind of like drawn onto it. And it helps people by guiding them to settlements. Now, settlements. What does that remind you of?
Deptford?
Pilgrims.
No, I was gonna say more like the SCP-3008,
Oh, yeah.
the IKEA with the settlements and
Yeah,
shit.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Exchange.
One of the other creatures I'm gonna go over is actually, it's called, I think it's either an employee or the staff,
Oh.
and it's literally a faceless, name-tagged entity that politely tries to help you while killing you.
Huh.
We're closed, sir.
Yep.
I
We're
wonder-
closing.
I wonder what that's
The store is
from.
now closing.
Also, real quick, speaking on SCP, we're dropping another corner here soon.
We are.
So stay tuned for that. And then we're gonna have a poll for which one you all like the most, and then that's
Yeah, keep a lookout for
gonna
that.
be a fun one. So
Yeah, and then forget what we just said.
And let's get.
if you know what's good for you, you see.
I love that we have 3 distinct personalities on this show because there's no telling where the fuck we're going.
Off the fucking rails.
Jesus. Anyway, so the break room man, he helps people by guiding them to settlements. I'm gonna say it because no one knows if it's like an
That's fair.
he, she, whatever.
They, them.
They, them, he, she, her, his, them, ass.
Ooh. I identify as an ass.
Same.
For sure.
Oh, absolutely. So, it seems to have memorized the layout of level 4, and it holds a coffee mug. The only recorded time a break room man hurt someone was when it spilled the coffee on a traveler, burning the traveler's arm.
Did they sue?
Yeah,
The-
they
the-
won
the
a
guy- the
lawsuit.
person-
And that's why all coffee cups now say caution hot.
Good on you, a person in the back rooms.
So wait, is there a monster in the back rooms that's a lawyer?
There has to be, right?
I mean,
There's a whole fucking legal system set up. I mean, there's settlements, so it's not too far-fetched, I guess.
He'll cover you.
I'm just
for
imagining like a straight up like Harvey Birdman type situation happening in the back rooms.
right when the coffee gets splashed on, he just, hey, here's my card. You'll need to call me later. You're entitled to a settlement.
What's this lawyer's name?
J.G. Wentworth.
I thought you were going to for sure say Saul something.
Yeah,
Saul,
right.
Saul Wentworth.
There you go. Saul Wentworth.
Saul,
Did you
Saul Coffeeman.
get that thing I sent you?
What?
Yeah, let that resonate. Only the OGs will understand that
Am
reference.
I having a stroke? What was that? What was that?
Just go to YouTube and type in.
Just type that in.
Did you get that thing I sent you? And you will not be disappointed.
We will be surprised, but not disappointed.
Okay.
What
other creatures?
This is one of the friendly ones. Let's move on to something that's not so friendly.
Okay.
Judging solely on the name, let's talk about the skin stealers.
Oh boy.
They sound friendly.
These are some of my favorites.
Give me your skin.
Is it Pyramid Head?
No, I mean,
Basically.
yeah, pretty much, except minus the pyramid head and giant knife.
So it's just head.
Yes, give me head.
Oh no, head's coming.
Oh shit, it's head.
So the skin stealers are normally docile creatures. They become agitated when touched. Avoid them whenever possible. The only physical description of skin stealers is that they're tall, pale yellow, and look like a humanoid figure with sunken white eyes. Once a skin stealer becomes agitated, it will hunt down its target via charging towards them at extremely high speeds, kill them. Unfortunately, details around this fact are unknown.
There's an SCP like that as well.
There is.
Mhm.
And presumably tear the skin off of the target's body and wear it as a sort of disguise.
Oh, this isn't a monster. It's Buffalo Bill.
Oh, it totally is.
Yeah.
Leather.
Would you fuck me? I'd fuck
Would you skid me? I'd skid me.
So explorers who have large scars on their veins, neck, or chest may be a skin stealer. So they look like normal people after they've stolen skin. They're just walking around. They could fool you into this false sense of security, and
Could
then
be
all of a
that guy
sudden,
in front of you at the grocery store arguing with management about his expired coupon, and wouldn't you know it, jumps out of the skin and just eats up that manager and becomes the manager of that grocery store now. Now
And
you got to
that's-
worry about him
and it's a whole pyramid
denying you
scheme.
your coupon, and then you got to steal his skin back.
That's a great business model, sir.
Fuck, man.
I feel like you just had a run-in at Walmart or something. This is the angst coming out.
What happened to you?
You don't
Are
wanna
you
know.
okay?
No.
Is your home life good? Just blink a couple times. They won't hear it.
Blank.
Well, now they will.
And, yeah.
No, I
we gotta
love
send
my
help.
fiance, and I hope she loves me.
So skin stealers.
Yep.
Once they've stolen skin, they are now disguised, and they look just like you and me. There is one telltale sign to know if somebody is a skin stealer, though.
You just ask him.
Yes.
They're, by law,
Yeah.
they have to tell you.
Like
Are you-
undercover cops, they have to tell you.
Are you?
No. They have clear blood, and somebody actually wrote a fucking rhyme to go around this.
How do you find out someone's a skin stealer? Just stab them and see what they bleed.
Right.
If they bleed clear blood, you did a good job.
Well,
if
no,
it's red,
just remember this.
call Saul.
Just remember these words. Blood's red. He's not dead. Blood's not in sight. Be ready to fight. So if it's
Oh.
see-through blood, you're
it's-
fucked. Probably.
like running
if I'm
across-
being honest,
it's
you're
like-
so fucked.
It's like the rhyme for drinking. Liquor before beer, you're in the clear. Beer before liquor, you're never sicker.
Except for blood.
Except
and
blood. Drink this
skin-stealing
blood and you'll be
demons.
fine.
So almost the same thing.
Leaves of 3.
But no, this
I'm
is
poison oak. It's the same concept.
and we've got a whole bunch of fucking mnemonics for for all the dangerous things in life.
So,
Poison oak. We've got poison ivy. We've
Check
got
a snake's butt plate to know if they're poisonous.
we've got snakes apparently.
butt plate.
We've got liquor
Seriously.
and beer, and we've got
Look that
skin
shit up.
stealers.
I just imagine a snake with like a driver, or like a license plate on the back of it. And it's like, oh, that's a 002.
Jesus.
That's a poisonous one. But on these creatures, does it say what level each of these creatures are on?
Yeah,
or-
so these skin stealers are found on levels 1 and 2. That's it.
Cool.
So they're not very diverse. I mean, there's thousands of levels that exist to people who are not.
Are there any on level
Purists.
0?
No,
Yes.
no.
There's one entity on level 0.
There is one entity on level 0.
The Hound. Smithers, release the
Release the
hounds.
hounds.
Yeah, the
Release
hounds.
the Hubes.
The hounds are the only creatures on level 0. These.
Oh, can fucking stop ruining my fun. I love the hounds.
Well, then talk about.
I'm
Well,
that's
then
the
know your
next
shit.
fucking thing up.
Well, then cut this.
We've been talking about skin stealers, and you're like, are they on level 0? And I'm like, no. And
Okay.
you're like, yes. And I'm like, okay. And
Okay.
there's hounds.
Then cut
All right,
this.
so let's
we can
rewind
cut all
that.
of this.
We're not. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see how I'm feeling on editing.
If any of you lovely people heard this, then congratulations. We decided not to cut it.
Yeah, now fuck off.
Well, fuck it. I'll come back to this one. So let's just talk about the hounds.
Now that we've stolen the spotlight.
So the hounds are very similar to like just a black lab, hence the name. And from a distance, they resemble women, which is weird. Not like a standing up, upright, confident woman. More like
At a 9 to 5 Dolly Parton.
no, not like that. More like her arms, legs, and kneecaps and elbows have been shattered and are now reduced to being on all fours, walking backwards in strange ways.
I do like a strong, salt of the earth woman.
Would you say the torso's the wrong direction?
It depends, actually. So their bodies can contort and twist into very weird positions. But so the thing that kind of makes you think they're a woman are these long strands of hair that cover their faces. They can be very dangerous if provoked. If you hear a low rumble, back away slowly. Even if you can't see, just start backing up. Up close, they resemble contorted human shapes running on all fours. Now, if you are an avid H.P. Lovecraft connoisseur, you will recognize
Hubert, Poobert, Lovecraft.
yes, Hubert Lovecraft. Fucking God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that fucking cracked me up.
No, if anyone here reads Lovecraft, you will absolutely recognize some of the qualities of these dogs, and you will compare them to the Hounds of Tindalos. which are eldritch beings who arrive to kill and punish those who travel through time and space. Almost like the time cops from Rick and Morty, but dogs that are horrifying.
Sound like hellhounds almost.
Yeah, more
I
or
was
less.
just about to say that.
Yep,
Also, time wraiths from DC.
Yeah. Exactly.
Time
so those are the
Cop.
Hounds.
Time
Another
Cop.
Another.
You know about Time Cop? Oh, wait, I'm thinking of Space Cop. Never mind. From Red Letter Media. Sorry.
You know Red Letter Media?
I love Red Letter Media.
Same.
They're like my favorite
They're
channel.
fantastic.
Yeah.
So on top of these hounds that will stalk you and probably rip you a new asshole if they find you, there's another entity called Smilers.
And level 0?
No.
Oh, level 1?
Nope.
Level 2?
Yes.
I'm just going to go up the ladder.
And 34, and most commonly on level negative 2.5. Let's not get into the negative
Read
levels
up on-
because that's a whole other thing.
If you want to know more about the other levels, do a little bit of research on
Yep.
your own. I'm not the one that usually says that, but there are literally thousands of levels.
There's so many. They're all fucking cool too.
The main 3 are the ones we're going over.
Right.
But we will go over the fun creatures of all.
Well, yeah.
Sometimes.
So I basically looked through the creatures that exist within the Backrooms. I found the ones that were the most prominent, the ones that I enjoyed the most. So these Smilers, they exist on levels 2, 34, and negative 2.5, and they have a home base. Their base is known to be the Smiling Room. These Smilers can be identified by their signature reflective eyes and teeth gleaming in the dark. However, most of them move at extremely slow speeds. The appearance of a Smiler is unknown. They are rumored to have inhuman bodies with arms and legs bending in unnatural ways. This is subject to speculation, though, due to other reports suggesting different appearances.
I do not like how Smilers sound.
You're about to feel way more uncomfortable. You know why?
Why?
Because it's also very well known that Smilers are oviparous, which means
yes, that I know that word.
which means they're able to lay eggs.
Oh,
The eggs
Really?
hatch into adult Smilers after an incubation period of about 2 days.
that's it.
Upon finding
Jesus
a nest of
Christ.
Smiler eggs, do not, under any circumstances,
Cook
touch,
them.
take, break, or attempt to cook any of them.
Yeah, they don't really respond to being over easy.
Well, my first thought was definitely to cook them.
Yeah, especially if you're in this room for
With
an
no
ungodly,
food.
an ungodly amount of time.
You see, if you have no food for a couple of days and you see a giant egg,
I'm gonna eat it.
yep, gonna eat that.
Looking like an ostrich egg.
But if you do, you'll meet with a terrible fate.
You shouldn't have done that.
Exactly. So after these Smilers, we have things called clumps.
I get those in the shower sometimes, but
Meet the clumps.
So keep in
wow,
mind.
what a fucking reference.
Keep in mind.
Wasn't that an Eddie Murphy
Yes, it was.
claymation?
I'm
Yes.
pretty sure.
Wait, was that a
Not
claymation,
claymation.
or? Oh, it was when he goes handsome when he drinks the potion, right? Wasn't
I
that
don't
is that the
remember
movie?
anymore.
I got you guys. Keep talking.
Okay. So clumps. Clumps are balls of arms and legs with many unique appearances.
Nutty Professor 2.
It's Nutty Professor.
The
Okay.
clumps.
Yep.
That's what it was, the Nutty Professor.
So
What
we
was
have,
I
we have
thinking
an
of?
origin story of the clumps, and it's the Nutty Professor too.
I hate it so
What was I
much.
thinking of? Doug, quick, look up this as well. It's a claymation that Eddie Murphy made.
I know what you're talking about. The PJs?
The PJs, thank you.
Oh,
That's
the
one.
PJs.
The PJs.
Yeah. So
That's on Peacock. Download Peacock now and get the PJs.
Not a sponsor.
I would love to keep talking about these clumps. Love it.
Sorry, go ahead.
Absolutely love it.
You know what? This is reminiscent to when you were dicking around with Doug during
That's
Ben
fair.
Drowned,
This is
so
fucking karma.
Now you're
I
seeing
couldn't
what
help
it's like.
myself.
Yeah,
I'm
we
just
got
giving
a
you
little
a taste of your own
excited.
medicine.
No,
Okay, go.
I get it. I get it.
I'm
I get
going
it.
to zip it, and you do a thing.
Zip it good.
What's the thing? Oh, never mind. I can't think of it. So clumps.
What
These-
are those?
They're balls of arms and legs with very, very, very many unique appearances. Most clumps are quite friendly.
Oh.
However, some have one long hidden arm, which they can use to grab you from up to 8 feet away if you're not careful.
Sounds Cronenberg-y.
Very. Oh, incredibly. It's a mass of arms and legs that are rolling around.
Yep, that's Cronenberg.
But apparently they're friendly.
What's the guy from Street Fighter who can, like...
Oh,
Dharma or...
the monk guy?
I think it is Dharma.
The monk dude?
I don't remember his name.
He has, like, the super long
The
arm.
stretchy.
Yeah.
And he's like the white eyes. He's like
he's got
darker
the
skin.
beads.
He's got the fucking butt cloth.
That was like
hanging.
Nami or something.
Yeah, the butt sack cloth.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I don't know what his name is. So if one of these hostile clumps grabs you, they reveal a set of sharp teeth and begin to pull you in to consume you. Once it consumes you, it's believed that your own limbs and possibly fragments of your mind are absorbed into the clump. Clumps typically reside in levels 2 and 4.7. One person claims to have seen eyes in the mass of appendages. That's the fucking guy.
Yeah, it's Dharma.
Yeah. Okay, cool. He's
Doug just
that's
showed a picture of Dharma on his phone.
from Street Fighter. That's my
From
go-to Street Fighter like main.
I like the guy with the mask and
Better
the razor
Zangief.
claws.
Oh, fuck. You're gonna
He's
make
okay.
me fucking...
We should play Street Fighter someday.
Hadouken.
Anyway, so after you've been absorbed into the clump, your mind also kind of gets absorbed. And so your thoughts, your whole thought process, your psyche now becomes part of this clump. One person claims to have seen eyes in the mass of appendages. An unconfirmed version of the clump with black tentacles is seen at the very end of a certain video on YouTube. I will post this in the episode description.
You can search up Nutty Professor 2 the clumps.
No, so this video that I'm going to post is actually really fucking cool because it's a VR video, which means it's a 360. You can look around as whoever's walking through the Backrooms is walking around, and you can see everything they see.
Is that kind of like the alpha clump?
It might be, with the black tentacles.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Alpha
clump.
Alpha clump. Okay. Does
So-
whatever an alpha clump does.
There it is. Thank you. After the clumps, we move on to another very, very strange entity. Very curious entity.
Is this my boy?
He's got a name.
It's my boy.
It's Jerry.
Jerry!
Jerry the bird. So Jerry is a small bird that looks like a parrot. It controls the mind of the person holding it, making it say things like, Jerry is everything. Jerry is what I live for. And, all hail Jerry.
Jerry is love.
This is literally a brain slug.
Jerry is
Exactly.
life.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yep. Or brain spiders from Star Wars, whatever the fuck you decide.
Or Shrek.
Shrek is love.
Shrek is love. Shrek is
There.
life.
Shrek is life.
Those controlled by Jerry go missing shortly afterward. They probably go to Jerry's room, but that place is kind of unconfirmed, so we don't know where it is.
Jerry's play place, like it's a fucking McDonald's.
Yes.
Jerry's room is just a Petco.
As these mind-controlled individuals go missing, the parrot goes with them and eventually reappears on a seemingly random level to find a new host. If you see a bird that resembles Jerry, escape by any means possible. It is rumored that giving Jerry sunflower seeds or almond water will tame him. So if you have some of that just lying around.
I always carry a pocket of almonds.
Actually, it's funny
And
that you
water.
mentioned almond water because if you go into the lore of some of these other levels, almond water is one of the most common things you find.
It's
next
kind
to
of like the standard.
a lighter. Yeah.
So if you want to gauge what these entities can or cannot do to you, around you, for you, whatever, almond water is the key.
Would you say it's like a health potion almost?
It's more like a divining
water.
rod.
More like a water.
No, like a divining rod. Like it tells you what things are.
Okay.
So like if you give something almond water, you can tell if it's hostile or not. It's kind of like the standard of like this is hostile, this is not hostile,
Okay.
which is a very weird metric. But
So it's just like here,
It's the less violent way of before where you had to stab that one guy to see if his
yeah,
blood was
see if his
clear
blood's
or
clear or
red.
not. Right.
Just give him some water and he'll
Now
be
we-
like,
yeah.
I'm okay.
Now we
we've,
know.
we've evolved past violence now to, and we're on to almond water offerings.
We went to the artisanal route.
Yes, exactly.
Healthy motherfuckers in this place.
So if you ever see a bird that resembles Jerry, please escape by any means possible. It's rumored that by giving him sunflower seeds or almond water, it will tame him, allowing you to pick it up safely. This will only work with the person who fed Jerry. Anyone else who holds Jerry will be affected normally. This, unfortunately, is not confirmed, as there have been many contradicting accounts of, feeding Jerry almond water and then also being mind-controlled by him and led to your death. It's not difficult to be led astray by Jerry because he's a fucking parrot. Like, you're in this giant labyrinth of things like skin stealers, you have these smilers, you've got all these horrifying creatures, and you have a parrot who's semi-sentient, who wants to talk to you.
I kind of hope Gary the asshole was the one that was like, I'm going to put Jerry up in this bitch.
I hope so.
That's all, thanks.
So, by picking Jerry up and feeding him, you kind of tame him. But again, it's not confirmed, it's speculation, because someone who had, quote-unquote, tamed Jerry decided it would be fun to put Jerry in fryer oil and then try to cook the bird. Their reasoning was literally, quote-unquote, because yes.
I mean, do you really need an explanation?
I guess you don't.
I
Words
see
to
bird,
live by.
I fry bird.
So once the person
I see
ate the
Jerry.
bird, they were under the effect of Jerry. The bird appeared around 2 days after that, kind of assuming that whoever cooked and ate Jerry is now dead.
He became Jerry.
Yep. This is one of the more interesting entities that exists
It's just
within
a
the
fucking
Backrooms.
parrot.
Yeah, it's a fucking parrot that can either love you or hate you or kill you, or apparently you can deep fry
Much
it.
like
and
my
it-
fiance. Am I right, boys?
Oh my god. So this is a roller coaster.
I don't even. I was gonna say something and then
I
it
love you,
just.
Lori.
But yeah, that's pretty much all the info we have on Jerry the Bird. Lastly, I'd like to get into one last entity that does exist within the confines of the Backrooms. Now, I will say this is, again, to you purists out there, I apologize profusely because this is definitely not canon to you, but I'm going to go ahead and decree it as canon because I fucking love this entity. Now, bear with me. This entity's name is Ayuk-Thiogdereg.
Translates to
Ayuk-Thiogdereg.
that's the Google Translate right there.
Yes.
Translates to Harvey Firestein.
Looking at this name, you're like, what the fuck is this thing? Although Doug and I might recognize what language it came from.
Sure do.
If anyone's familiar with any type of Rylian, which is like the Chthonian language, you'll know exactly where this thing comes from. So, Ayuk-Thiogderegs are a group of entities that hunt on levels 2 and 4. They were discovered by a user who posted his experiences on Reddit. His name was Lord Mac29. And he found there were 2 types of Ayuk-Thiogderegs. The first type was encountered previously when Lord Mac29 entered level 4. Their appearance is unknown, but it is known to mimic the voice of a friend or loved one. The second variation is a humanoid for the most part. However, they lack any facial features besides 2 pupils. They make themselves known by humming classical music. So, if you hear any, run as fast as you can and for as long as you can, even when you can no longer hear the humming. Keep Crazy Frog. Nice.
We gotta get out of here, man.
I'm just imagining fucking Peter from Family Guy doing it because he's like,
But no, so
Also, it's not Crazy Frog, that's Axel F.
Axel F.
So...
The song title, though,
get fucked.
is Crazy Frog.
No, it's Axel F.
It's Crazy Frog by Axel F.
No.
If you text this number before 7 p.m., you can get Crazy Frog straight to your Nokia device.
So no, if you hear this humming,
The
run.
song is Axel F by Harold Faltermeyer.
Who the fuck is Harold Faltermeyer?
Pretty sure no one gives
It
up.
was from,
No one does.
well, the song is from
Fuck.
Beverly Hills Cops with Eddie Murphy. That's where the song originated.
Why
Crazy
is everything
Frog.
coming back to Eddie Murphy right now?
Crazy Frog did
This happens every episode.
It's
every
crazy, right? But
whatever.
Crazy Frog did a remix.
Is this like a 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon
Yes,
thing?
exactly.
Okay. All right.
We're entering the scary door.
Speaking of, so if you hear this humming made from these creatures called the how do you pronounce it? Ayuk.
Ayuk?
If you hear that, run as fast as you can for as long as you can. Even when you can no longer hear the humming, run as fast as you can and for as long as you can. Even when you no longer hear the humming, keep running and sleep wherever you drop.
Take reference from Usain Bolt and just
Fucking go. Get
Book
the
it.
fuck out of there. There's a couple of reasons why.
Dated
first one
ass
might-
reference.
The first one might kind of surprise you. If you're fortunate enough and you run far enough away from this,
no one recognized Doug.
huh? What happened?
Giving us shifty eyes. I don't know what he said. I missed it, but
I got nothing.
okay. He's giving us shifty eyes
What's
over there.
happening right now? So even if you're fortunate enough to run away from this thing, you don't hear the humming anymore. There's a small chance that you will wake no longer in the back rooms.
Ooh.
You
Just
will
for-
escape.
Just for booking it?
Yeah, just from if you hear this humming, you will escape the back rooms. Do you hear it now?
No.
That's fucked up. That's a fucked up, guys.
Is it even coming through?
However, I will say it's a very slim chance. It's very slim.
It's always slim in the back rooms. There is an old tale when you're in like level 0 and 1. Kind of similar to that, where it's just if you just book it, you'll get out. If you just think, yep, I'm in the back rooms.
There's no
This is
place
my
like
life.
home and click your heels
Yeah,
together.
yeah, if you're just like, this is my life now, the back rooms just makes a door that you can just fucking
Yep.
exit, and you're back in real life as long as you accept your fate.
That's I mean, it's random whether or not that will happen or not. But so if you hear this humming from this thing called an Ayuk, fucking run. Once you have run until you are utterly exhausted, you will drop and fall asleep. When you wake up, you may exit. If you don't, they're just going to keep chasing you. If they do manage to catch you, they will surround you and plunge you into insanity. Or, if you're lucky, they will tear you apart in the blink of an eye. So basically, you're either plunged into this mental insanity that will tear your own psyche apart limb from limb for eternity, or you will literally be torn apart limb from limb in the blink of an eye. I prefer the latter. I've read too much Lovecraft to know that
Insanity sucks butt.
I'd rather just die. If I'm being 100% honest.
So since we're just talking about, running and then an escape coming up,
Yeah.
can you escape the back rooms? Is that, I know we mentioned it a little bit ago, but the chances are rare, but like...
They are. And like I said, the Ayuk is one of your fucking chances to do so. It's a very slim chance, but this
They're
thing
all
could
slim
lead to your...
chances.
Yeah.
But how slim are there detailed ways? You know what I mean? Like are there multiple ways to get out of every room? Do we know this?
So, to answer your question, Mike, there are a couple of ways that we know how to exit the back rooms, whether that be, falling asleep from your fucking dude.
Exhaustion.
One of the most recognized ways is once you're out of level 0, you enter a elevator door, and it has a chance of taking you either back to where you came from, or you either go to
Deeper.
level 1 or you go
Deeper.
back to the beginning of level 0, which, in my opinion, the odds seem terrible
Yep. Yep.
But it really depends on who you ask. There's a lot of people that say, hey, we have no confirmed accounts of people actually leaving the back rooms. But we also have a lot of first-hand accounts that say they might have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the first hand. Go ahead.
Real quick, just because it relates to the Ayuk eggs, because they fall in the same level as what a lot of people consider to be the end. If you make it past these beings, you can encounter something called, I forget what it's called, but it's a room that contains a file. The file, its name is reallife.soha.exe, and it's at the end. And apparently if you run that, you have a 5% chance of escaping. Again, stacked the fuck against you.
5%'s the best number we've seen all night.
Seriously.
Compared to my .00001.
But I will say, do this at your own fucking risk, because if an Ayuk egg does catch you,
You're dead.
You are either dead or insane for life.
DED dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's like... This whole time there's been a couple people that have gone on like Reddit talking about their like experience in the back room. So I guess you could say all of them escaped because they're talking about the back room. How would they be able to reach us on Reddit and talk about it if they didn't get out of it? You know?
Yeah.
But there's a couple, like, there's a user named u/Warrior Bastion who was able to escape. There's u/Mug Skeleton, and 6 Wesley Smith, which is my favorite because he talks about how he actually owned a parrot named Jerry, and he was able to bring it back with him to the real world.
That's fucking cool.
Mm-hmm. So he brought a Jerry with him.
That's incredible.
Yeah. How it happens? I don't fucking know. There's also there's a bunch of other stories out there that you can look into that are pretty detailed and fun. I didn't get way too into them, but there's one story about a guy going to like a doctor's office and he falls through the wall of the doctor's office. There's one about a guy who works at this office building and he tries to play a trick on this woman in the elevator by pushing all the buttons, but she does it first and then gets out of the elevator. Yeah. He opens the elevator finally opens after all the buttons were pushed and he's in level 0. Yeah, there's a bunch of different stories that I would recommend reading because they're very fun reads, especially when you get into like the lore of everything. It's very, very fun, very cool.
It also brings us to a really good point that I want to kind of drive across to everyone is that, like, there's this very generalized yellow, like, office building look to the back rooms, but that's not the case for everyone. Like, whatever the back rooms is kind of where you're at the time, but in, like, a very more, like, monotone, like, weird feel to it. It's not always that same look.
Think of it this way. If you ever find yourself in a room or a place that you aren't like familiar with and it just gives you the fucking creeps and you're not sure like either how you got there or where to go from there, you're probably in part of the back rooms.
Yep. I mean, you can kind of look at the back rooms as like a purgatory.
Oh yeah.
That's how I like to look at it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely agree.
But so speaking of like the lore behind the back rooms, I kind of wanted to go over like where it came from and like what spawned all this attention on the back rooms. And it's a post that came actually from 4chan. Fuck, I don't even know when.
Where everything...
April 21st, 2018?
Yeah, April 21st, 2018.
Everything horrible comes from 4chan.
You literally, there's a post of this dingy, abandoned, almost office-like building.
I'll have the image up on our Instagram too.
Yeah, we'll post it up. But it's got this stupid yellow wallpaper all over everything. It looks terrible. And it was just that picture. And you got a comment underneath that said verbatim, "If you're not careful and you no-clip out of reality in the wrong areas, you'll end up in the back rooms, where it's nothing but the stink of old, moist carpet, the madness of mono yellow, the endless background noise of fluorescent lights at maximum hum buzz, and approximately 600 million square miles of randomly segmented empty rooms to be trapped in. God save you if you hear something wandering around nearby, because it sure as hell has heard you.
Ooh.
Love it.
That's the original post that spawned the entirety,
Is there
all the lore behind this.
Is there a username on that?
I
I know it's 4chan, so probably not.
It's anonymous.
Yeah, it was
it's-
anonymous.
Okay,
Yeah.
figured.
No, yeah, they don't really give anything. But so after this was posted, it began gaining traction. So on May 12th, 2019, an anonymous user started a thread in the site's paranormal board X inviting users to post pictures of disquieting images that just feel off. The user posted a picture of a yellow room at an off-center angle. User replied with a narrative about the picture that basically goes over what I just said. After that happened, it started spreading. So on May 14th, another thread combining the picture and the content appeared. 2 days later, the post appeared on Reddit on r green text on the caption, "Worse than any creepypasta out there, gaining over 32,000 points," which is fucking huge. It's fucking massive. And then on May 18th, another Redditor by, YourDnDGuy, which might
Shout out
strike
to
a
that
bell.
guy.
Yeah, absolutely. He then posted the story that we heard earlier that was inspired by this original post. After that, it gained a fuckload of traction, and now you see it kind of where it is now.
Became its own entity after a while.
It reminds me of SCP, where like it
Everyone
starts as
adds in.
something. Yeah, it starts as something very simple, and then people enjoyed it and just start adding and adding and adding, and that's where it's at now.
Yep.
It's fucking ridiculous. There's so many. It's gone from like just a myth to like this one yellow room to now having over 1,000 plus levels, over 600 million square miles. Like,
One of the big
Jesus.
reasons it caught on too, in my opinion, is because the yellow room. I feel like everyone has this like feeling of like, nostalgia.
everyone can attribute that
familiarity.
picture to something.
Familiarity. Everyone, you see that room, and you're like, I feel like I've seen this somewhere before. It
Well,
just
that
looks
ties
like one of
into
those
the
rooms.
whole luminous areas thing. Like, it's basically it's just places that you feel like you've seen before, but in kind of like a more like I'm not even sure how like what words to describe it as, but it's a place you've been before, that you've seen before, that you know, but doesn't quite look right.
It's somewhat familiar.
Well, like you get this weird lighting in a place that once was familiar but now looks not familiar, even though you think it's familiar.
And I actually like, for me personally, anyway, that picture reminds me of a certain section of a store called Nordstrom that was out in the Oak Brook Mall that I used to go to all the time with my mom when I was super young. And they had this, like, near the changing rooms, they had a section of just, like, unfinished, like, room that looked very fucking similar to this.
Mhm.
And so as soon as I read anything about this, my brain goes like, oh my God, I think I've seen part of this.
So I have 2 bits that I want to save for our like final thoughts.
Okay. We're
So
here.
I was about to ask, are we at our final thoughts here?
Oh, yeah.
Cares.
Okay, great. Thank you. Doug's the reason I drink. So my whole thing on why these rooms look very familiar is because how bland they are. It's just like it's described as just white wallpaper or yellow wallpaper with beige carpets. If you walk into any low quality like doctor's office or like dentist office, some outdated office, you're gonna see this type of wallpaper, which is why it looks so familiar. We've all been in a place with these color schemes where it's very muted colors, very just muted colors that are common in the
Generic,
workplace. You know,
it's just-
exactly generic.
That's honestly why it's like weird for me, because so my dad, he works for State Farm, and like way back in the day when like you do like bring your child to work day, I would go to his office, but like for whatever reason, like every memory I have of going there, it seemed like there was like maybe like a handful of people in the office, but it was just like an office building. fucking fluorescent lights,
Yep.
weird hallways that you'd have to go down, and then you'd
Yep.
hit one room that just has a bunch of cubicles in it, and like maybe 1 or 2 people were there.
Yep.
So you'd see all these empty cubicles, very like minuscule lighting, but still fully lit because of those fluorescent lights. So
And
it's
that's-
like it's just weird.
That's why it comes off as familiar. And even if you look at, like, let's take the show The Office, for example. It is just an office space with fluorescent lighting. The walls are kind of dingy.
Can we just call The Office the Backrooms?
Sure,
No.
why the fuck not?
They're all just trapped there.
Yeah, but like you've seen these colorings before. You've seen these rooms kind of before.
Oh yeah,
you
it's
know
all
what I mean?
familiar, and everyone can
Yeah.
identify with it. Which is, again, like, I'm so happy, Doug, that you brought this to our attention, because I've heard little snippets here and there about the Backrooms, but I never ever did like a deep dive on it. And
Yeah.
holy fuck,
Yeah, this is very
love
fun.
it.
It's very fucking fun.
Yeah. It's
Especially
funny.
because every room is different. It reminds me of why I like SCP, because every SCP is different. Every room is different. It's so fun.
There's that, but so there's a show on Netflix right now. It's subtitled. It's a Japanese show.
The
the
apartment building one?
Borderlands. No,
Oh.
no, that the High Rise is good too. No, I'm talking. I think it's called Alice in Borderland, or the Borderlands, or something like that. And it's about these people who get locked down in a city and have to go through these different trials in different like situations and like office buildings and shit like that. And it reminds me of that, where it's like this game that people are competing to survive in. So again, if you've ever thought about checking out something similar to this as like a TV series, check out Alice in Borderland. I think that's what it's called. I hope that's what it's called.
You'll find it.
If you search Borderland on Netflix, you'll fucking find it.
You might get the
Alice in
Borderlands
Underpants.
video game. Who the fuck knows? But I will say there's one other thing that hit me on the way here, that I think this might have drawn inspiration from, or it might be referencing a little bit. I know we talked about the references to something like Dante's Inferno, where there's the 9
levels.
9 levels of hell, and there's the 9 main levels of this. Something else that it kind of sparked me is this kind of gives off simulation theory vibes. Reason being,
God, I can't wait to do that
is
episode.
if you know anything about how like a lot of video games work, a lot of like game developers will create a room outside of the map that you can walk around in. It's just this little room, and they'll put like the items in this room that they're going to use in the map, so they can just kind of like shortcut, drag and drop them into the map.
Yep.
The back rooms, because they have so many random objects, they have like, sometimes they have office desks, they have lighters, they have almond water.
It's like the dashboard
It's-
for life.
Yeah, it's like this dev back room of just random objects that the simulation is pulling to put into the real life quote unquote simulation. Like for example, if you're playing like Call of Duty, if you can
Call of Duty Shoot 'em, man.
Yeah, if you're playing Call of Duty Shoot 'em, man, you can. If you clip out of the map, you'll find a little room that the devs have just stockpiles of guns in, and like beat up cars and everything. Because they'll use those items, they'll just drag it and drop it into the main map. It's easier for them just to drag and drop than
Then create it every time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what this kind of reminds me of, as it's just kind of like it really is a back room. It's just a room full of random shit.
Back end of a web page.
It's practically a warehouse for game
like a
developers.
repository.
Yeah, it's a repository for game developers, which adds to simulation theory. If we're a program, the back rooms is the shit that they're just pulling items from to put into our real world.
And I promise we will do an episode on simulation theory. I'm way too paranoid about it to not. So
You're not real.
yeah. I mean, again, I did spend several hours in the bathroom one day convincing myself that I was real. So
Yeah, that kind of hit me on the way over here. I was like, well, it's just a dumping ground for items for the game, and we're a game, man. And fuck, I'm practically a sim.
Well, if you guys weren't smoking weed before now, you
Roll
should.
Roll up
A baby leg?
a baby leg of weed.
This is always an ode to last podcast.
Yep.
Every time.
Fucking love them. Well, shit. I think that's
Yeah, I think that kind of sums up the back rooms.
sums it up. I mean, obviously it doesn't cover
close to everything.
Yeah, if you guys are interested, there is so much to look up and there's so much to read about.
Yeah.
You know, all the different levels, all the other monsters. There are so many fucking monsters, by the way.
Oh, there's so fucking many. I'm gonna
There's
post
dragons.
There
even.
are
There's fucking
dragons.
dragons.
There's normal people. Like, I'm gonna post the link to like the wiki for all of this shit on the episode description, so you guys will be able to look at it. I know we say it every time, but go through this. Honestly, if you want to, they've made games about this.
Well, this definitely is one.
Gary's
to,
Mod's a good one,
Yeah.
where you can fucking find the Backrooms. You can do a multiplayer Backrooms, which I think would be a fantastic way to kick off like a YouTube channel or some shit like that.
Yeah, well, this definitely is one that you're going to want to do more of a deep dive in. It's kind of like SCP. There's so many FCPs. There's so many rooms in the back room that we're just not going to be able to cover them all. So if you want a lot more of the lore, look into it. It's very entertaining.
There's a wiki, so that's, you know,
The
pretty
wiki
much where we got a
literally
good amount of our
separates everything
information.
from room to room.
Yeah,
So,
that's going to be your hub of information.
Yes,
But
and we'll leave the link for that wiki in the description as well. So.
as well as all of our information to go find and like us on social. You'll find us at our Linktree, which is linktree.deludipod. You can find us on Patreon if you'd like to support us. We would fucking love you forever, as we've already done twice. We're gonna gush about you. We always will.
I can't believe Jason's taking my end
I
bit
saw
here.
the fucking segue.
Damn, I was just about to say that. What a fucking... I'm over here on a bird scooter. You're on a fucking Mondo Segway. Hot damn, son. Keep going.
No, seriously, find us anywhere that you can fucking devour a podcast.
We are DeludiePod in just about everything you find on the internet.
Just literally Google us. DeludiePod. Don't look on the internet. It doesn't fucking matter at this point. You're gonna find us.
Our Linktree has our main sources, but again, patreon.com/DeludiePod. YouTube, don't look under the internet, but I'm pretty sure you can find us under DeludiePod. Doug, can you verify that?
Literally,
yeah,
again.
just, the channels just don't look under the internet.
Yeah, okay. Everything.
We've actually, if you go follow us, subscribe to us on YouTube. We actually have some fun things coming. I'm not going to give them away here, but if you go subscribe,
you'll see
you will be in tune to what we are doing, and I guarantee you will not be disappointed.
Yes.
So please listen to us, share us, tell your friends about us.
And again, it instead of having to look up DeludiePod on all of these things, just again, please. Just use our Linktree. It's so much easier for you because you just have to go to linktree.com/DeludiePod. It has our YouTube. It has our Twitter. It has our Instagram. It has our Facebook. It has our Apple Podcasts. It has our Spotify.
It has everything.
Everything is there. It's so much easier
on top of all of this, Mike will validate your parking.
He will validate your parking.
He will.
Yeah,
There's
I've
no
been
way
given
to
that
lose
ability.
here.
Yeah.
Every parking validation comes with one dad kiss, so...
Yeah, I owe you all a dad kiss
You
now.
do.
So.
As well as a bunch of shots.
Yeah.
Also, real quick, I really just want to shout out YourDnDGuy for the creepypasta that we read.
And whoever the original 4chan poster was, thank you for this awesome story.
Yeah, but mainly YourDnDGuy.
Yeah, we did take a lot of inspiration
Thank
from him.
you
We're
for
not gonna
letting
give
us use your stuff. We appreciate it.
The fandom wiki, I took a lot of my info from the fandom wiki. Fright Night on YouTube. That's night with a K, like a medieval knight.
Right.
I took a little bit of his information as well, or not took, but I used him for inspiration as well for a couple things.
Fucking just, honestly, look up the Backrooms on YouTube. You're going to find a fuckload of videos. Play the games. They're terrifying. They're amazing. Check out the wiki. I mean, it's got all the information you could possibly fucking need. But most importantly, and I will say this every goddamn time, is that you need to stay paranoid.
This is a good one for me.
Most good intros just have a lead up to that explains what you're doing.
Do I want you guys to slap beans this time? I'm not sure.
Do you just want us
maybe
to-
if you just shake your beans. Shake beans vigorously.
Shake your beans, man.
Shake them all the time.
Shake your beans, man.
Yeah, just shake beans and shake beans. I don't even want you to slap them this time. They're probably sore as fuck from all the episodes you've been listening to. So just shake them. Just give them a day off.
Go have a a health day. You know, I want you to, if you haven't already, draw a bath.
Okay.
Put a bath bomb in there.
Okay.
Get yourself a nice alcoholic drink.
Okay.
But if you prefer to smoke, get yourself a nice baby's leg of marijuana.
Fucking rip a dab, bro.
Yes, and then I want you to reach under the bathroom cabinet. I want you to pull out that special item that's been on there for months now. It's a pineapple. I want you to take that pineapple. I want you to carve it up nice. Carve it up nice and slowly. I want you to get all that skin off. I want you to carve it into the shape of a tooth. Orthon is coming to you. He's coming to your dreams. He's going to give you benevolence. He's going to give you malevolence. He's going to be the follower. He's going to be the bringer. He's going to be your dentist. So go see your dentist because it's probably time for a checkup. Go see your dentist and also be your best person. I love you.
We do. We love you all. Peace. Thank you so much for listening.
I'm gonna give you a raspberry right now. Ready?
That's where we have to cut it.